What if one treaty's ink could doom the world to flames? That's the riddle at the heart of World War II. No single villain, but a tangled snare of grudges, greed, and grave mistakes that snared nations before anyone could blink. Picture this. A century ago, leaders scratched out peace on paper, thinking they'd buried the beast of war. But those lines? They just sharpened its claws. Today, we're peeling back the layers, not the dry dates from textbooks, but the raw human hungers that lit the fuse. Stick around as we trace how a humiliated giant rose, economies crumbled like sandcastles, and whispers of conquest drowned out cries for calm. You won't see it coming. The main cause isn't what you think. It's the one that hid in plain sight, pulling strings until the whole stage caught fire. Let's rewind to that sweltering hall in Versailles, 1919. The air thick with cigar smoke and grudges, Allied powers, France seething over trenches, Britain eyeing colonies, hammered Germany with terms that read like a death sentence. Lose Alsace-Lorraine, hand over colonies, cap your army at 100,000 men, and cough up billions in reparations that had crippled generations. Historians sift through those pages now, spotting the poison. Article 231, the War Guilt Clause, branding Germany the sole sinner for the Great War's carnage. It wasn't justice. It was a brand, searing national pride into something feral. Families in Berlin scraped by on bread, laced with sawdust. Factories idled, vets hawked pencils on corners. Resentment festered like an open wound. French troops marched into the Ruhr in 1923 to seize coal payments, sparking passive resistance that only swelled the chaos. And here's the twist you rarely hear. Those reparations? Funneled straight into Allied debts to America, turning Europe's recovery into a house of cards. German kids grew up chanting rhymes about the diktat that forced dictate, dreaming of payback. It wasn't just policy. It was a generational scar, whispering that weakness invites the whip. But economics has a way of turning scars into infernos, doesn't it? Imagine bread lines snaking through fog-shrouded streets, not in some distant slum, but the heart of industrial power. October 1929, Wall Street's crash ripples like a stone in a pond, but hits Germany like a tsunami. Hyperinflation had already clawed at savings, wheelbarrows of marks for a loaf, but the Depression? It gutted 6 million jobs, 1 in 3 workers idle, soup kitchens mobbed by men who'd built empires. Factories shuttered, banks foreclosed farms, and desperation birthed street brawls between communists and nationalists. In the U.S., Hoover preached rugged individualism while shantytowns sprouted. Across the Atlantic, it radicalized the middle class, those clerks and shopkeepers who'd bet on stability. Weimar's democracy, fragile as glass, cracked under the strain. Chancellors toppled like dominoes, emergency decrees ruled by decree. And lurking in Munich beer halls? A failed artist with a mustache, peddling panaceas of pride and plunder. The crash didn't just empty pockets, it emptied faith in the old ways, priming pumps for demagogues who promised bread and borders reclaimed. Yet one voice rose louder than the rest, turning economic ash into a bonfire of the soul. Ever wonder how a corporal from the trenches mesmerizes a nation on the brink? Adolf Hitler, gassed in Ypres, emerges not broken, but burning, eyes like coals, voice a whip, cracking crowds into frenzy. By 1923, his putsch flops in Munich, lands him in Landsberg prison scribbling Mein Kampf, a blueprint for blood and soil where he rants of Aryan destiny, Jewish stab-in-the-back myths, blaming defeat on internal foes and Lebensraum, elbow room carved from Slavic East. Released, he rebuilds the Nazis from rubble, SA brown shirts brawling Reds in alleys, propaganda posters plastering his glare everywhere. The Depression's despair? His ladder? Votes flood in, from 2.6% in 1928 to 37% by 1932. Coalition kings hoist him chancellor January 30th, 1933, figuring they can leash the dog. Big mistake. Reichstag fire, pinned on a Dutch communist, triggers the Enabling Act. Unions crushed, press muzzled, opponents vanish into night and fog camps like Dachau's dawn in 1933. Hitler's not just seizing power, he's rewriting the soul of a people, Autobahns snaking as jobs, radios blaring Leni Riefenstahl's rallies where 100,000 roar like thunder. Whispers circulate in Berlin salons. Is this savior or serpent? By 1934, Hindenburg dies. Hitler fuses chancellor and president into Führer, oath sworn to him alone. The man who painted postcards now paints Europe red with ambition, and across the Alps, another strongman sharpens his own blade. While Berlin thrummed to Horst Wessel anthems, Rome pulsed with black shirt marches under Benito Mussolini. Picture Il Duce, balcony poses like a Roman emperor reborn, seizing power in 1922's March on Rome, not with tanks, but bluff and King's Nod. Fascism's creed? State above all, corporatism chaining workers to bosses under tricolor banners. Ethiopia, 1935, mustard gas clouds over Haile Selassie's pleas. League slaps wrists with oil embargoes, too leaky to sting. Mussolini eyes Mediterranean Mare Nostrum. Albania gobbled 37. Dreams of allying with that upstart across Brenner Pass. Hitler courts him with anti-Bolshevik toasts. By 36, Rome-Berlin axis spins. Spain's civil war their playground. Condor Legion bombers testing Stukas over Guernica. Untold angle? Mussolini's son-in-law Chiano diaries drip envy. Germany's machine outpaces Italy's rust, but together? Unstoppable. Black shirts parade, youth drilled in Balias, empire fever grips cafes from Milan to Tripoli. It's not lone thunder, it's the chorus building, fascist hymns harmonizing across borders, drowning democratic murmurs. And far east, where cherry blossoms hide steel, another empire stirs with hungrier eyes. Sunrise over Mukden, September 1931. Japanese officers in Aijo's shadows plant a bomb on their own rail line, blame Chinese bandits, and roll tanks into Manchuria. The League tut-tuts from Geneva, but Tokyo quits in 1933, dubbing it Manchukuo Puppet State. Resources, coal, soy, iron, feed war machines. By 1937, Marco Polo Bridge sparks full China plunge. Nanking's shadows hide horrors that scar souls. Emperor Hirohito's realm, Meiji modernized, but militarists hijack. Ultranationalists assassinate Dove PMs. Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere masks conquest. U.S. oil flows despite protests. Britain's Hong Kong bites tongue. Whispers in Tokyo clubs. West's soft, ripe for harvest. Japan's not side plot. It's the parallel blaze, imperial itch scratching at Asia's map, while Europe averts eyes. That blindness? It had a name, etched in marble halls far from the fray. Geneva's League of Nations, born Versailles' hopeful twin, convenes in Art Deco splendor. 59 nations at peak, dreaming collective security. But no teeth. U.S. snubs from start, Senate isolationists cry, entangling alliances. Manchuria report gathers dust. Ethiopia's invasion? Sanctions skip key exports like oil. Covenant Article 16 vows action against aggressors, but votes stall on quorums, mandates mired in memos. Picture delegates in bowlers, toasting peace while aggressors scoff, Hitler's Rhineland remilitarization. 36, unopposed parade. Hidden fracture. Colonial powers fear precedence on their empires, so hypocrisy hollows the hall. By 38, it's ghost town, covenant confetti. The League didn't fail once. It eroded daily, each ignored plea paving roads to blitzkrieg. And in London parlors, that erosion birthed a policy of yielding ground to buy time. Foggy Downing Street, 1938. Neville Chamberlain waves Munich paper, peace for our time, conceding Sudetenland's Germans to Reich without a shot. France's Daladier tags along, haunted eyes knowing better. Maginot Linné's concrete, a Maginot mindset. Why bend? War weariness scars, Soma survivors. Depression drains treasuries. Public polls scream, no more blood for Danzig. Hitler's Austria grab, Anschluss cheers echoing Vienna cafes, goes unchallenged. Now Czech factories fuel Luftwaffe. Backroom cables reveal dread. Britain's RAF lags, Army of Volunteer skeleton. Chamberlain's umbrella shields illusion. But whispers leak. MI6 agents report Panzer plants humming. Each concession? A brick in Hitler's wall of invincibility. Democracies dithering while dictators dash. The air thickens with what-ifs. One firm stand, or just more maps redrawn? That question hangs heavier when old foes ink a devil's deal. August 23, 1939, Moscow's Kremlin. Ribbentrop toasts Stalin over caviar, non-aggression pact signed, secret protocols carving Poland like pie, Soviet East, German West. Shocker, ideological archenemies, swastika and sickle, handshake to carve spheres, Stalin buying time post-purge, Hitler clearing eastern flank. Berlin erupts in feigned surprise, press spins, friendship eternal. Untold ripple, Baltic states gulped, Romania's oil eyed. This betrayal blindsides London, Paris guarantees to Poland now, paper tigers. Whispers in Warsaw salons, sellouts abound. The pact isn't bridge, it's fuse, shortening to spark. Dawn breaks September 1st and thunder rolls from the west. Panzer divisions slice Polish plains like scythes. Stukas shrieking dives over Warsaw, Luftwaffe owning skies in hours. September 3rd, gramophones crackle, Chamberlain's grim broadcast. Britain, France declare war. Phony war's quiet front follows, but Poland's agony real. 66,000 dead in weeks. Soviet steamroller from East October 17th, Caton whispers later haunt. Enigma codes crackle secrets, but allies frozen. Civilians flee horse carts amid blitz, underground presses cry resistance. Hitler's gamble pays. Quick kill tests Wehrmacht exposes Polish cavalry myths. The invasion is an opener, its overture, crescendo building to global roar. Yet across oceans, hesitations echo louder than guns. Smoke curls from White House chimneys, 1935. Neutrality acts chain Roosevelt's hands. Cash and carry for belligerents, no arms to foes. America, scarred by doughboy graves, buries head in isolation. Ludlow amendment polls bury intervention, 70-30. Lend-Lease whispers, 41, but 39. Peacetime drafts spark riots. America First rallies Lindbergh's wing. Echoes in Canada, Australia, Dominion ties tug, but Pacific fears Japan more. Hidden cost, intel shared too late, convoys sunk before Pearl. Democracies delay? Not cowardice, but scar tissue from 18, letting Axis momentum snowball. Ideals clash quiet, but when racial tempests brew, the storm breaks wide. Mein Kampf's pages, dog-eared in SS barracks, map not just land, but lives to cull, Jews as bacillus, Slavs subhuman fodder for farms. Nuremberg laws, 35 strip rights, Kristallnacht, 38 shatters glass and bones. By war, Wannsee Protocol's blueprint final solution. Not side horror, core fuel, SS Einsatzgruppen trailing panzers east, Commissar orders, target Reds. Mussolini apes with racial edicts, Japan's comfort shadows, whispers in ghettos, trains to nowhere. This venom isn't afterthought, it's engine, purifying space for master race, turning conquest to crusade. As borders bleed, one last diplomatic thread, phrase. Winter 39, 40. Finland bleeds Soviet boots in Mannerheim Line, exposing Red Army rust. Hitler eyes Norway fjords for ore, iron grip tightening. Chamberlain falls, Churchill growls, we shall fight beaches, but Balkans brew. Greece, Yugoslavia, topple like pins. Diplomatic cables crisscross. Hesse's mad flight to Britain 41 begs peace, ignored. The abyss yawns, blitz on London 40, but Hitler's gaze east, Barbarossa dreams. Threads snap one by one until the world tilts into abyss. So, what's the main cause staring back from this mosaic? Not one pen stroke or pact, but the deadly dance where resentment met recession, ambition outran restraint, and blindness let beasts roam free. Versailles scarred, depression starved, Hitler harnessed hate, appeasement oiled the gears, Pax pulled triggers. We've chased ghosts through halls and hells, unearthing how ordinary hungers birthed extraordinary ruin. But pause here. In today's headlines, borders bristling, economies teetering. Do those echoes whisper warnings or just wind? What thread would you pull first to unravel our own snarls? Drop your take below. History's not done teaching yet. If this pulled you through the shadows, smash like, subscribe for more buried truths. Until next unraveling, stay curious.